Welcome back to Modern Warrior Project. Shane here, and in this video I'm going to cover a pretty cool little product called the Rhino Rescue Burn Kit. So if you're not familiar, Rhino Rescue is a company that's manufactured in China. So what they've done here, and I'll hit on the China thing, I do this all the time. Unfortunately, we're in this, or fortunately, however your perspective is, I consider China a pretty big enemy of the state. So in some ways it's unfortunate because they're constantly stealing our intellectual property and all that, but that's neither here nor there. Because of the world we live in, a lot of the supplies we get, even if you're buying something made in America, it is potentially coming from China. For instance, I use a manufacturer and a printing company in America for my targets. They are truly made in America. However, I don't know if they're buying those raw supplies from China. So a lot of times when you trace it down far enough, it gets to China just because we import so much stuff from China. That's neither here nor there. One of the biggest challenges on buying products, because you can certainly get things cheaper when you're buying directly from China. The biggest challenge we have there, outside of your political opinions and this and that, is the challenge of quality control. They do not have the same standards set in place. That's not to say there are no companies that do and set good standards. And that brings us to this. Rhino Rescue appears to be one of those companies that's kind of doing a decent job of that now. They have a pretty good reputation for their supplies, and as a result, they are also more costly than your typical Temu or Wish products that you might get in the first aid realm. So, you know, we're looking at Rhino Rescue. They're more than your Temu, but they're a lot less than like your My Medic type supplies. So let's go over this. This is a burn kit. This retails, I want to say, on the Rhino Rescue website, they listed around $39. I think you can get them on Amazon around $23, $25 on sale. And for what you get, it's quite a value. So let's dig into it. Let's just pull it out here. What I do, one of the things that struck me about the Rhino products was a lot of times when you buy stuff from China or other non-English speaking countries, their language on things, especially cards like this, tend to be, you can tell it's second language. Someone, either a second language individual wrote it. They spent a fair good effort in being a proper translation, whether that's a English first speaker or they just, whatever they did. Like this burn kit instructions for use. Step 1, stop burning immediately and remove constrictive clothing, parentheses, jewelry, belts, and tight clothing. And it keeps going on, but it's all very well articulated, better than me apparently because I can't say it. It's all well articulated and well written as far as this burn kit instructions for use. So inside, as far as the other products, so you've got a card, we've got some nitrile gloves, we have a elastic bandage. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 dry burn dressings. We have quite a few packs of burn gel. And I think on the back it actually says too how many. So we have quite a few packs of burn gel here. We have some wet burn dressings. These are obviously soothing, cooling gel for burns. Probably some kind of an aloe type coating on these. We have 4 of those. We have another elastic bandage. We have some, typical medical tape. And we have some medical shears. And they feel pretty solid. The quality of shears is typically correlates to the product you're getting, as well as the size of the product you're getting. For instance, I just did a My Medic review on their smaller trauma kit, and these shears are more sturdy than those shears. However, I have no doubt that My Medic has some more stout shears in some of their bigger packs. And likewise with this is definitely not the most stout, but feels pretty solid. So to recap, we have 4-inch burn dressings, 4. We have 8 of these burn gels, 4 non-adherent dry burn dressing pads. We have 2 of these 3" by 5 yards elastic bands, 1 medical tape 5 yards length, scissors, 1 pair of nitrile gloves, and an instruction card. And all of that for around $25 on Amazon is not a bad deal. The quality feels good. All in all, I'd say this is a pretty good buy and a pretty good product. So that is it. That is the Rhino Rescue Burn Kit. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend it's worth checking out and throwing in your kit. Till next time, friends, safe prepping, and talk to you soon.